Hi, Dr. Kim.
Hi, Cody.
You're looking very nice. I like your suit.
Thank you.
So for this meeting, we wanted to try inviting more people. So we invited a lot of our iSync Wave users. I'm not sure how many will come, but you might have a few more audience members.
Yes, good.
Are you in Korea right now?
Yes, yes.
Not traveling?
Yes.
Are you gonna have any plans for the holidays?
Yeah, I don't have the plan yet, but I need to with my son and daughter.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
sure you deserve some time, a little break.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we all need it. Hi, Taylor.
Hi.
Taylor.
Good to see you.
I might be turning off my camera to eat because I had a cavity earlier, a filling done, and now I can finally feel my face again so I can eat. So
You might still be leaking out of your mouth a little bit, so
yeah.
that's fine. Neurofeedback E. Okay. Not sure who that is, but welcome. You're muted.
Thanks for letting me bug you a whole bunch the other day, Cody.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just knew I only had like 2 days with the equipment. I was like, ah.
Have to learn it all now. Yeah, no worries at all. I'm here to be bugged.
Sorry, I thought I had my mic open. I'm Carlos from Monterrey, Mexico.
Oh, hi, Carlos. Good
Hi.
to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I always see your name on our list, and I don't think we've ever met, so great to meet you.
Yeah, this is the first time, Cody.
Yeah. And I think our Carlos won't be making it. He's on a flight, but Rebecca will be here a little late too. For other people will slowly start streaming in. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Carlos landed.
Hey, everybody. Nice seeing you.
Hey, Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Kim, good seeing you.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Castellano.
My shirt is like doing something crazy on this screen. This is like wild. I feel like a tie-dye.
I think it might only be happening on your end. You're looking.
Oh, really? Mine is like moving around and it looks like
I'm jealous. I wish mine was doing something cool. Oh, hello, Dr. Bruno. So glad you could make it.
Hi, Dr. Bruno.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. Hello again.
Hello.
Nice to see you all.
Good to see you. Oh, hi, Dr. Rathbone.
Hi, Dr. Rathbone.
Bruno, how's the weather down there? Is it beautiful?
No, it's always the same, Cody. Hot
always hot.
Almost 40 degrees Celsius.
I mean, it's cold, ice cold out here in Colorado, so I'm still
really?
jealous. Yeah.
Wow. 15, 10.
I think today we're getting into like the 20s.
No, it's not so bad.
Oh wait, no, 20s. I'm thinking Fahrenheit. We're getting
okay, got it. Of course.
0 to 10, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's brutal.
Yeah. We can trade for a week. How about that? I'll take the heat and you can have some cold.
Yeah, the best of both worlds, right?
How are you, Dr. Rathbone? Long time no see.
Yes, I'm doing well, thanks.
That's good to hear.
Yep.
Will Jeff be joining?
No, Jeff's mother's birthday is tonight, so they're going out to dinner.
Ah, okay. That's a good excuse.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure more people will slowly start coming in, but we're 5 minutes after. So do you want to go ahead and get us started, Dr. Kim?
Yes. Then
I'll make sure people can get in while you're talking. I'll keep track of that.
yes. Okay. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today. I'd like to introduce how our report were created and ways to interpret efficiently the two different topics. And I will use the two exemplar case. One is the children case, another is the adult case, because our report is a little bit different for the children and adult. So I will give you explanation of the how report is generated, and then I will give you the how we can analyze efficiently to make an intervention based on the QEEG finding on the phenotype. So I will share my screen. Yes, this is, I'll give you two different cases. One, this is our portal site. In the portal site, you can find the EDF file, and under the EEG processing, you can find individual analysis, summary report, and norm comparison, and AMCI screening result, and also HRV processing, HRV individual summary, and neuromodulation. And you can select the neuromodulation to make a protocol. And here, this is the case for the children. Once you record the EEG with our device, then you can see the data in this portal, in the individual analysis, and the same data in the normative comparison. I usually recommend to use the normative comparison to make a intervention. This is the children case. This is the normative comparison, and here you can find the raw data, and also this is the clean data from the raw data, and you can find the component, and also you can find the Z-score mapping like this. Before going through this, all the details for making an intervention based on QEEG, I will briefly introduce the QEEG summary report for the children. This is the summary report coming from the clean data of this data. You can see this is the 12 years old children. Actually, these children is diagnosed as the autism at age 4, but he continuously get a good intervention. Now he is quite normal, and just a little social interaction problem, but actually quite normal children at 12 years old. And his intelligence is normal in all domains except perception reasoning. And in this case, the first summary report for the children is the frontal lobe development. You can see this is the zeta beta ratio. Zeta beta ratio at CG is the indicator for the frontal lobe development for the children. The decrease of the zeta beta ratio is the developmental trend. This is the developmental curve for from age 4 to age 20, and he is a little bit higher compared to his peers. But this is the 75 percentile is good for over the mean value. And in terms of zeta beta ratio, he is quite good. And also, this is the information processing speed indicator. The information processing speed is coming from the alpha peak frequency. Alpha peak frequency is starting from 8.34 from the age 4.5 and steadily increasing like this. The male and female are a little bit different. This is the general trend. His alpha peak frequency at his age is a little bit higher compared to his peers. So he is quite good information processing here too. 70 percentile. And we also have the alpha reactivity. This is the normal pattern. This is the eyes closed. The dark blue is eyes open. Eyes open and eyes closed usually the ratio of usually is the 2. The half of the value at the eyes open to the eyes closed. This is the normal alpha wave reactivity. In this case, alpha wave reactivity is quite good too. No alpha wave on the eyes open. And also, we can give this kind of eyes closed. He is a little bit higher eyes closed alpha amplitude, and also this is the relative alpha power, and also eyes open a little bit lower. This is usually 2 times alpha reactivity. In his case, quite big alpha reactivity. Many developmental problem children shows the very little alpha reactivity. That means that children is kind of the strong default mode, not interact with the external world. That is kind of the developmental problem, but in this case, quite good alpha reactivity. And we can also show the brain balance. This is the brain network analysis. In this network analysis, you can see this kind of 4 different side connectivity pattern. He is quite hyper connect. He shows hyper connection in every direction. So that's why he has a lot of hyper connectivity. We use the alpha 2 frequency band for calculating this connectivity pattern. Some children having the very low connectivity, that in that case, we can see the lot of blue connection lines. In that case, we can see the very low percent value. In this case, left, right is both hyper connection. In this case, quite good connection in the in terms of alpha 2 frequency oscillation. And also, we can also give the developmental age. Usually, in the development, the relative zeta is decreased, relative alpha is increased, relative beta is increased. This is the very clear development in the normal children. We have the database for this kind of development: zeta decrease, alpha increase, and beta increase. Using that kind of pattern, we can find the machine learning model to detect the developmental age in each brain lobe. He has a little bit low in the frontal lobe, a little bit low in occipital lobe, but generally very similar to his peers. So this is the AI developmental age, and this is this 5 is specific for the children, but this is the same one for the adult summary report. This is the source level zeta beta ratio. In this case, zeta is higher, for example, then we can find the red area. The beta is higher, we can find the blue area. In this case, quite balanced. And also we can find the percentile value in 8 different brain area. And also we can find the same information. This is the slow wave G-score and fast wave G-score, beta G-score. This is theta G-score. In this case, theta and beta is quite good balance in this area. Some people has very high. I have to check this one. This is not the slow wave standard score. We need to change. This is the slow wave standard score. This is the fast wave standard score. You need to change. It is a little bug. We recently update. I need to change this too. This is the slow wave standard score. This is the fast wave standard score. Some people is very slow. Then they have this area, and some people have very high, low slow wave and high fast wave. In that case, they locate this area. In this case, quite balanced here. And we also break down each setup iteration in 8 different areas using the ROI we used in our normative database. We break down frontal area into 13 different ROI area, and we can give the setup iteration percentile in each area. If the percentile is high, that means the beta is higher. If the percentile is low, that means the slow wave is the higher. And using this kind of information, we can find that which area is the most problematic. In this case, all the area is quite balanced in this case. This is the other children summary report. And I can go to the real EEG data. Before going to the real EEG data, I can go to the summary report for the HRV. Our device records the EEG and HRV at the same time, and you can see the HRV report for this child. In the HRV, the same children, you can see the SDNN is the composite score of the heart rate variability is quite good. So large value means the good stress buffer capacity. 50 percentile is the mean value. Over the 50 percentile is good stress resilience. Very small value is the bad stress resilience. In this case, SDNN is composite value for the HRV and representing the summation of the sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. The RMS-SD is only reflecting the parasympathetic activity. This all good in this case. Total power is good. And stress index is very low. And you can see this as a percentile. And this is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. In this case, a little bit parasympathetic higher, but generally very well balanced. And in this chart, this is the SDNN I mentioned before, and it is the heart rate. Using the heart rate and SDNN in this area is quite excellent. Heart rate variability is good, and also heart rate is very small. That means very good heart function. And when the people get stressed long time, this area, the person get the stress long time, then the SDNN is becomes smaller, and the heart rate is increasing. That's the overload. And finally, when the people in the overload get the stress or stress more, then the heart rate mean is dropped like this. So this kind of direction. First, excellent area, get stressed a long time, then move to the overload area, and finally, then the weak area. This is the HRV changes during the long-term stressful situation. And this case is quite good. And also this is the HRV tachogram, histogram. This HRV histogram, wider histogram means the good stress buffer capacity. Shorter HRV histogram is very bad stress capacity. Just when people die, the HRV, the heart rate interval is same, identical. When people die, that means very low heart rate variability. Usually, the very peaky HRV histogram means the very poor stress buffer capacity. But this kind of wider distribution is the very good stress buffer capacity. Using this kind of stress trajectory, we make a model of the 5 different stress stages. So in this case, this is quite good condition in terms of stress model. And we also have the depression and anxiety model based on only the HRV model. In this case, a little bit mild depressed and mild anxious. These children still has the autistic tendency, but quite good intelligence at the moment. But he shows a little bit anxious and depression in terms of the HRV emotion model. And this is our HRV summary report. And I will go to the real data here, the real data for this child. And this portal gives a very detailed information to make intervention. You can see the raw data first. This is the A1 reference raw data. And you can see the lot of artifact during the recording, and after 2 minutes, he shows he has a little bit difficult to maintaining this kind of EEG recording because a little bit pressure during the recording because his autistic tendency a little bit remained. So he suffered from this contact a little bit. So this kind of bad recording during the rest part of the recording. But we have the clean data like this. Using this clean data, we can make a QEEG analysis. And we go through this kind of clean data for reviewing any kind of abnormal activity. And the efficient way for making an intervention and finding the abnormal location, the importance of the QEEG in terms of intervention is finding the abnormal location. So finding the location, the component information is very good, very efficient way, which area is the problem. And you can see the component one by one. Our component is arranged in the order of the power. First component is the biggest impact for the EEG. So first component is very important one. Usually the eyes closed EEG. The first component should be the posterior alpha activity coming from the back of the head. Alpha activity is quite normal for the healthy people. And number 2 is another alpha activity. Number 3 is another posterior activity, but actually the location is this is X is this horizontal axis, and Y is this vertical axis. X is minus is the left brain, Y is minus is the posterior area, Z is 0. Z is the this is the horizontal plane. The location of the source component is exactly on the horizontal plane, not on the top on above the horizontal plane, not on the below the horizontal plane. Just on the horizontal plane is the G equals 0. So using this information, you can find the exact location of the source, dipole source. In this case, a little bit temporal area, but it is posterior alpha. And also this another oncus is the temporal structure. It's very center of the brain, but actually you can see this the dipole source location and the distribution at the topomap are a little bit different because the EEG generation coming from the electrical dipole from the neuronal structure, and the dipole information always have the plus and minus. So you can see that this is the dipole location, dipole source location, and also that this is the direction of the dipole. The small tick from the red dot, you can see the direction of the dipole. This dipole make a field in this area. Also, in the opposite direction is another electrical field, but the amplitude is different between this and this, because that's why we have the red area and blue area, the dipole in this case in the very center. But another alpha activity here, and this is another posterior alpha, and this is the frontal. Frontal alpha is, this case alpha is 10 Hertz, but frontal alpha is a little bit higher frequency, and also a little bit small the theta activity here, coming from here, right frontal area, could make some problem in the frontal alpha and frontal theta. And this is the eye blinking rejected by the artifact, rejected by AI as an artifact. And this is another alpha activity coming from P4 area. And this is the coming from medial frontal area. You can see a little bit, very central, 10 minus 15. Usually XYZ is between the minus 100 and the plus 100 in each direction, but this is quite close to the center, but very higher location because G is very higher. So this is the alpha activity coming from the central or frontocentral area. Could be a little problem, frontal alpha activity. And this is quite typical, the typical mu rhythm in the C4 area. Usually the autistic kind of autistic spectra children has this kind of a mu rhythm at the C4. I think this is quite important brain, quite important component. So these children has some kind of frontal alpha activity, but this is the quite important component for the intervention. If we give some intervention, we need to speed up this kind of central alpha activity, because this central alpha activity make it very difficult of the emotion processing. Emotion sensation at the T6 and T6 area, the emotion sensation area, and P4 area, emotion integration area, and this is emotion information is going through going through C4 and finally arrived at the F4. This is the emotion for the emotion regulation, but in this case, in the middle of the emotion pathway, the C4 has the idling rhythm like this. the mu rhythm. So this mu rhythm blocked the emotion processing here. So we need to speed up this alpha-like activity at C4. We can target this area for speeding up this slow activity for making his emotion processing better. So I think this is quite important location and abnormal component for the intervention. And he shows another very small frontal theta activity. You can see this is the theta. This is the 1 second, and the small tick is the 1/5, 0.22 second. Usually theta activity like this. This kind of slow activity is the theta. The 2 oscillation, usually alpha, the 1 oscillation is the theta in this small tick. So this is the theta activity in the FG is another could be another abnormal location for the intervention. And this is the artifact. And we can see this the very small slow wave activity. And another frontal theta activity in the left side here, and alpha activity. So this is the artifact, another artifact. So using this kind of component information, I think we can find a very important abnormal component and then target that abnormal area to make an intervention. So this is the component. Using the component, we can find the location, and then we can, in this case, we need to speed up. Sometimes we need to calm down based on the frequency of the abnormal location. So combining this component information, and this is the G-score mapping for these children and for this child, and we can see this the C4 area is quite excessive, and also the frontal alpha activity a little bit higher, and basically the high frequency activity is a little bit generally globally higher. So using this information, we can make an intervention to speed up this mu rhythm and also frontal alpha activity. And at the same time, we need to calm down this kind of general high anxiety tone of the beta excess or gamma excess in this case. So we can combine component information and relative power map and absolute power map a little bit different, but basically the same trend. So we have the very small theta peak, the centrally and frontally, and also alpha activity in the component. Actually, the most deviant pattern, we can find the most deviant pattern in this absolute or relative power map. So I think we need to target this frontal alpha or the mu rhythm at the C4 in this case. So this is the most important component for these children, because after reviewing the component and the G-score map, so we can make an intervention, for example, for these children, like this. For example, this area a little bit slower, so we need to speed up this area, for example, 15 Hertz. Then the 12 Hertz mu rhythm and the slow alpha activity in this right frontal area a little bit higher when we give this kind of intervention. So based on the QEEG finding for these children, and also we can combine the 1 Hertz inhibition. 1 Hertz inhibition is because he has a lot of the high frequency activity, basically reflecting his high tone of anxiety. So we can give this kind of global inhibition. We can combine these two. For example, 15 Hertz gentle activation of the mu rhythm for 10 minutes, and then we can combine the 1 Hertz global inhibition of 3 minutes. When we combine these two protocols for these children, make his emotion processing better and calming down his high tone of anxiety. So this is the process, how we can find the abnormal location like this, combining this component and G-score mapping. And then based on that, we can make an intervention for these children. This is the children case. Is there any comment? Then I will briefly discuss, and then we can move to the adult case, a little different case. Do you have any comment?
One question that was in the chat, Dr. Kim, was about how you decide on what standard deviation to use for the normative reports when you're choosing between 1.982 or, you know what I mean?
Yes. Then if you want to choose the different G-score scale, then please go to the individual analysis. Basically, as you can see here, this conventional default G-score color coding is the 1.96, but you want to 3.0 or 2.5, for example, then you can select the data here and then the analysis. So on the analysis, then you can choose the automatic denoising. Sometimes you can select the manual denoising. So, wait a moment. You can select the color coding here, but actually I cannot find the G-score color coding selection is not pop up at the moment. I need to check, but you can select the. Oh no. We need to check this one, not the analysis. This is my fault. You need to select this norm-DB comparison for this data, and then you can choose the 1.96 already analyzed. You can choose 2.9, 2.58, or 3. Then, for example, if you want to use the 3 for the G-score color coding, then you can see the new report now on the preparing. The G-score is 3 here.
And how do you decide which Z-score to use? When do you use 2 and when do you use 3?
Actually, in this case, you see this is the another case. This is the G-score is 2, and if you want to find which area is the most deviant, this is globally read in this high frequency area. So if you want to find the focus of the high frequency deviant, most deviant area in the high frequency, then you can choose another G-score coding. For example, once we get the G-score mapping using the 3 threshold, then we will find more easily which area is the most deviant in the high frequency activity. Yes, that's the simple process.
Dr. Kim?
Yes.
This is Dr. Castellano. Thank you for taking a moment. And Cody is correct, and I appreciate him reiterating. Will I miss any pathology if I choose the 1.96 versus the 2? In other words, if I if my window is smaller, is there some pathology that I will miss?
Yes,
Or should
yes.
I just almost always, as a beginner, right? Should I just keep it on 1.96 for now until I learn more about my patients?
Yes, I think 1.96 is good, but some cases you can use another 2.58 or 3 for finding the most deviant location. I think you can try if you can find you just in case you cannot find the location. Location is also always important. You cannot, if just in case you cannot find the abnormal location on the G-score map, every area is red or every area is blue, then you can choose another G-score threshold to find the location. But you can also find the location just using the component information. Yes. But the G-score mapping is the finding the which frequency. For example, in this case, you can find that 12 Hz is the most deviant. So you can choose the 13 Hz, 14 Hz for the gently activation in this target area. But for example, just having this kind of the band-specific topomat, it is very difficult to choose the right frequency for this kind of alpha excess. So I recommend please use the 1 Hz G-score map, because the neuromodulation is kind of entrainment. So 13 Hz, the 14 Hz, 15 Hz is different in terms of entrainment. A little bit, for example, if you can choose the 13, 14, 15 step by step, the entrainment is more easier. So you can use this kind, just as 15 Hz, but you can choose 13, 3 minutes, 14, 3 minutes, 15, another 3 minutes. That's the step by step increase of the frequency in that area, to gently activate step by step. That makes the entrainment better. The important thing is finding the right frequency in 1 Hz resolution is important to make a right intervention. Yes. Then I move to another case for the adult. So this is the adult case. After collection, this is the 77 years old adult. You can see this kind of raw data, and this is the clean data. You can see this is the advanced mode. And you choose the advanced mode, then like this, you can see the more detail. Also, you can choose the width and height. In this case, you can see the very slow wave. Yes, you can see the EEG is very slow in this case. And also, some area you can see for example, you can choose the different scale, for example, 50 Hz. And also you choose the wider time bandwidth. Then you can see the T6 is the slow wave, and on top of slow wave, that is a high frequency oscillation. And the C4 is another high frequency oscillation on top of the slow wave. And F4, the right, you can see more detail using this kind of scaling. And this is the raw data, and this is the clean data. And you can see a lot of slow wave, almost theta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 Hz theta activity is dominant, and also the high frequency oscillation is mixed on the slow wave activity. Actually, this this female is kind of the dementia showing the dementia symptoms for a long time. And this is the same, but I will show you the HR summary report first for the adult. The EEG summary report for this female. And you can see this is the kind of red. This is the underactive source level theta beta ratio. Theta is dominant in all over the area. So you can see this kind of red. And also you can find the number in each 8 different brain segmented area and almost underactive. And you can see this is the bug. We need to change this. This is the slow, and you can see the lot of higher G score and very low high frequency activity. That's why the 8 different location is almost in the underactive area. And we can also see the same in terms of the theta beta ratio in the breakdown of the frontal area and also the temporal area, and also for the parietal and the occipital area. This is the same for the children summary report. And also you can use in terms of AMCI screening, and you can see the MCI, this is the AMCI screening is the 78% very close to the dementia trajectory in this case. And also you can see the same HRV analysis report for this email. And in terms of HRV is good for the HRV. But you can see the sympathetic and sympathovagal balance is not so good. The parasympathetic is dominant in this case in terms of HRV measurement. The HRV is good compared to the brain EEG, but parasympathetic is quite dominant in this case. You can see this kind of unbalance. And the HRV itself is good, but the anxiety is mild anxious for this female. This is the same for the children case. But only different is we can see the AMCI, especially for the age over 50 years old. So this is the summary report for the adult. And also we can go back to the data for making an intervention. And this is the data coming. So we can see the component one by one. The first component should be alpha activity, but in this alpha activity coming from the back, but in this case, the axis -5 is quite a central line, but Y is 30 is frontal area, Z is 30 is above the horizontal plane. The first component is not coming from the back of the head, it's coming from the anterior midline, and you can see there is a dipole source in the anterior midline, and this is the plus, this is the minus. This dipole making field in the 2 different frontal area in opposite direction. So this is the frontal slow wave, frontal theta wave. This frontal theta wave is quite abnormal brain component. We need to intervene this kind of abnormal location, the frontal location. And this is the pulse artifact. And also this is another movement artifact, I think, the eye-related movement. And We have the alpha now. The alpha is quite slow. The less than 8 hertz frequency is kind of dementia-like alpha activity is coming from the occipital area. So we need to speed up this alpha activity, this slow alpha activity. So based on this, and we need to stimulate the frontal area, and also we need to speed up this slow alpha activity. And this another alpha is also the 7 hertz activity, and this is the frontal muscle, and also combined with the eye blinking activity is rejected, and the temporal is another alpha activity. And she shows the frontal theta activity too, and the temporal theta activity. Generally, the quite diffuse theta activity overall. And this is the frontal muscle activity. And this kind of, this is not easy. This is coming from another pattern. So we can see this kind of component. In this, we can see all the component using this old image very rapidly like this. And also, we need to use this component time series window. So in this case, number 15, 14, and here is number 14, and number 15 shows some is the number 18. This is the ECG artifact. So this kind of 1 hertz, this kind of every second we can find this kind of pulse activity. So that spiky activity coming from the ECG. So I think this is the ECG artifact. So number 14 and number 15 is the ECG artifact, I think. This is coming from the ECG, not from the EEG. EEG always shows the sliding pattern, decreasing pattern in terms of normal EEG, but this is not the EEG pattern. So the very simple principle for finding the abnormal component is the peak activity should be in the alpha area. All peak activity, the EEG, the component frequency spectra of the component should be decreasing pattern, except the alpha peak activity. But this is not the alpha band, so this is the abnormal, very slow alpha activity. And this is another abnormal because this is not alpha peak. Except the alpha peak activity, all peak activity is abnormal in the component spectra, also in the frequency spectra here. So the finding the abnormal location, we can use the frequency spectra. If the frequency spectra have the peak except alpha, that's the problem. So we need to target that location. Once that location having the peak activity except alpha. So here, this is another, this is artifact pattern. This is another artifact pattern combined with the normal EEG rhythm. And this is a kind of typical trend of the decreasing sliding pattern, decreasing pattern with the frequency. This is the quite normal spectra. This is the normal spectra, the decreasing pattern with the frequency. So using this kind of decreasing pattern of the frequency spectra, we can find the abnormal component very easily. So this case, we have the lot of we have the frontal slow wave, and also the alpha peak activity is very slow. So in the frequencies topomet, we can find the same finding like this. So we need to speed up this kind of, generally, we can use the GISCO3 for finding the more deviant area, but at the moment, globally very slow in the theta area. And also we have the very weak power in the beta. This is the typical dementia pattern. And also we can find this left temporal area is quite high gamma activity. We can see this the that left right T6 and C4. Also the C4, and we can see mainly the high frequency. We can see the T6 and F4 and F7. So C4 a little bit high frequency activity is nested on the slow wave. So I don't know exactly the meaning of this kind of high frequency activity, but this also reflects the patient's symptom. So using this kind of pattern, then we can select the frequency. We can select the neuromodulation based on this. So this female, we can make an intervention. In this case, globally, very slow. So we can choose the 8 Hertz frequency. This is globally 5 minutes. And then we can choose another, for example, 9 Hertz, 5 minutes globally. And also we can choose the 10 Hertz. Something like that. Speed up from 8, 9, and 10, step by step, making her brain get some more speed. This is the protocol based on the QEEG finding for making her brain brighter. So this is the brief explanation of the 2 different cases. Actually, I already summarized all the EEG phenotype and tPBM protocol. But this kind of phenotype approach can also apply to the RTMS and medication selection. You can click the RTMS. You can find how the RTMS there are a lot of literature is combined for making the RTMS protocol selection based on the EEG phenotype, also the medication selection. There are a lot of references gathering here, so you can take advantage of this website. And here there are 11 EEG phenotype developed by the Jay Gunkelman. He already made the 11 EEG phenotype coming from the 500,000 EEG recordings. So each EEG phenotype, we can choose the right PBM protocol like this. So this is the increase of the alpha in the back of the head. This is the global SMR stimulation for the epileptiform activity. And diffuse slow activity, we can choose this kind of 3 different combination of the protocol. And the focal abnormality, and we can choose the different frequency in each different brain location. So, and also by mixed fast and slow, when we can use alpha and 1 Hertz for making 2 different mixed pattern. The fast pattern, we need 1 Hertz inhibition. The slow pattern, we need to alpha induction. So we can combine these 2. This is very typical approach for the autistic children. We can choose the frequency based on the QEEG finding, but basically this is the exemplar PBM protocol based on QEEG phenotype. And the frontal lobe hypoperfusion, we can combine these 3 or these 2, or frontal asymmetry, we can target different frequency, target area with different frequency, and excess temporal alpha phenotype. We can choose this kind of tPBM protocol, and the past alpha variant, we can choose something like that. Like the alpha theta neurofeedback training, we can calm down the frequency step by step like this. We can get the people having the more relaxed status. Spindling beta, for example, anterior localized front spindling beta, we can target that area with 1 Hz for breaking up the beta spindle and also making the alpha synchronization combined, making the calm status for the spindling beta. And also the alpha theta PBM protocol can be beneficial for this kind of beta spindle phenotype. And also the persistent eyes open alpha, and we can give that people the frontal activation for breaking up the default mode, frozen status of the default mode, breaking up frozen state of default mode. So this is the QEEG guided PBM protocol. So we can take advantage of the quick dry recording and making the summary report after reviewing the clean data. Based on the summary report and the 1 Hz Z-score mapping, we can make an intervention very efficiently and very easily. So also you can download the all the detailed information from the portal, and you can download from right screen here. So you can select all, then you can download for the patient report. Yes, this is the brief introduction, how our report is generated and how can we use this information.
Dr. Kim, that was great. Thank you so much. Could you send me a link to that EEG phenotype and PBM protocol?
Yes,
and I'll
yes.
make sure everyone here gets that link so they can read it a little more thoroughly.
Okay, okay. Then I will leave the link on the chat.
Okay. And then I'll also include that when we send the recording, I'll include that in there. And then really quick before we say goodbye, does anyone have any suggestions for what types of things they would want Dr. Kim review for next month or another session? Do you want him to continue with reports or PBM protocol? Dr. Kim, do you have some suggestions?
Actually, I think we can suggest a case. There are many different cases, and in this group, we can suggest a case and review together and make a protocol together. That makes learn together from the EEG and QEEG.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Navigate it through the software. We do have a hand up.
Yes, just trying to answer your question, Rebecca. We would like to see a lot more in depth of the PBM protocols.
Okay. Is that just also how to generate your own PBM protocol with a case review?
That would be great.
Okay. And then Dr. Castellano.
Thank you again, Dr. Kim. I think I'm the slowest one in the group, and Cody invited me into this group so I could decrease the IQ of the total group. So I appreciate this, and in that regard, I've done only probably, I would say, 75 to 80 maps at this point. So I'm early in, and I have not seen one normal brain yet. All of the patients, and it's very difficult for me to know. And you did a very good job. I appreciate you telling me what was pathologic in certain areas. But I wonder if, and it might be at a different time, if you could go through a case where you would say the patient has no pathology, we don't need to do anything for them, and they should be the index case for the normal parts of the brain. I'm having trouble finding anybody, including myself, as you probably already understand, who doesn't have big spots and big pathology.
Dr. Castellano, we actually reviewed a normal case because of your request in our grand rounds session. So when I get the recording, I'm still waiting on that from Sherry. We'll send that to you. Which is just a little plug that we are going to start grand rounds with Sherry Johansson in probably February of this coming year. So that's another avenue that you can gain some extra education on as well.
And just to add in on that, I mean, really, I know we talk about normal brains, but when we think about peak performance, we all have areas that we can improve on. And especially when we think about the environments that we grow up in, the nutrients that we have, the head injuries we've had, we've really all come up with compensatory mechanisms for keeping going. So it's more surprising if you're going to see someone, and if somebody's coming into your office, they're probably not going to be a normal case anyway. So we're not really grabbing the people that are like living their best lives, have no struggles. So,
Yeah, thank you, Taylor. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Keep your eyes out for that recording, and same time next month, the third Wednesday. And we'll see you then.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.